Hey everyone, this is a video showing you how to set up your Clever Touch with your computer and set up a separate screen so that you can demonstrate maybe your PowerPoint slides as well as having a camera view in the screen so that the students can see you at all times. So I'm going to go through a couple of different steps. First thing that you'll need to do is have your HDMI set up to your computer. A lot of us should have a dongle already. So you're going to take that dongle, whatever that looks like for you, have your dongle and plug it into the Clever Touch on the side. And then what you'll want to do is go to settings if it's not already there, because a lot of us will probably use the Clever Touch in PC mode. And there's another way that you can use this system with just the PC, but I like to use my computer. So whatever HDMI you plug it into, the number will be on the back of the screen. So mine is on HDMI 3. So there's like a little settings button here. You can press the HDMI that it's in, and now you are set up for your computer to use it for the Clever Touch. Once you've done that, you're going to want to change your settings in your computer so that you can know where you are on your computer screen. So I'll demonstrate that as well. You're going to want to go to your settings, your system preferences, and then go to display, because one thing you're going to want to make sure is when you go to arrangements that a lot of people's computer is set to mirror displays, which means whatever's shown on your computer will also be shown on this screen, but we want to set this up as a separate screen, as a separate display, like making it a really long screen. So we'll want to unclick mirror displays. Okay, so now I have two separate screens to where I have this one that's here and the one here on my computer. One other thing that I suggest that you do is that you make sure that you set the arrangement. So right now, this is my primary screen is my computer, and my secondary screen is the Clever Touch. But if you look to see, I'm oriented to where my second screen is on my left and my computer is on my right. So you might get a little bit confused. So a way that you can go around that is to click here and drag it over to where now this screen is to my left and my computer screen is to my right. So it just kind of helps the flow. So depending on where you are stationed, if you will. So if you're on this side of it, you might want your computer screen to be on your left and this on your right. But if you're stationed here, which we probably will be because the HDMI cords and everything is technically, if you're facing here, to the right. So just change your screen around. So once again, you can just highlight it and move it to the side that you prefer. So for this one, I'm just going to put it here because now when I move my mouse will go to my other screen, and it's just easier to find your way around without getting too confused. Okay, so that's arranging the screens. Now I'm going to show you a couple other things in terms of your sound. So if you're having any sound issues, once again, it's same in the settings, system preferences. You can go to your sound and choose the different areas where you want your sound to come out. So if you're not hearing anything in your Clever Touch, that's probably because you need to set it up to the PC monitor, which will allow the sound to go out of the HDMI into the Clever Touch. So that's for the output. If I were to play a song or something like that, you want the output to go through your Clever Touch and not your MacBook so the students can hear. And your input, if I were to use a different microphone, so say actually the Logitech has a microphone as well, I can change it to the Logitech. But so that sound information is right here in the sound thing, which is in system preferences. That's at the bottom of your screen here. Okay. So the whole idea behind this is set up a second screen so that you can run your Zoom classes and have different vantage points or different cameras so your students can see at least you or the class at all times. So I'm going to show you a setup that you can do and use Zoom to integrate it into your setup on the Clever Touch so that you can have that. So let me get into that. So there's 3 different programs that you can use, or even if you're just demonstrating a Word document. So if you're doing your slides, you can use Google Slides, Keynote, or PowerPoint, and then we're also going to use Quicktime to use as a camera. All right. So what we're going to do here, I'll show you PowerPoint first. Let's say this Clever Touch is our digital classroom. We want to arrange it in a way that's fitting for the students. Okay. So we're going to have our slides in one area, and then if you go to the suggestion that I have is going to Quicktime, to set up your second vantage point. So once you press QuickTime, you'll want to go up here to the menu bar, press File, and press New Movie Recording. Now, movie recording will give you a camera view that is typically your FaceTime camera on your computer. So you have movie recording, audio recording, if you were just recording your audio, and screen recording. I'm recording my screen right now, which is why it's not activated. So you can actually do both. You can record your screen and a movie recording at the same time. So movie recording, when I pull that up, it actually pulled up on my second screen. So I'm going to drag it over. And this is what I mean by extended screen. So you see, I'm dragging this over from my laptop so you can have different things on the screen. So this is when we're not mirroring, we can do that. So once again, to the concept of using this board as my digital classroom. So you see, this one here is my camera view from my computer, but the awesome opportunity that we have is to change it. So your Logitech, which will be on top of your Clever Touch, you can put it on that camera view. You do not have to press record here. Just leave it in the corner. What you want to make sure is that wherever you place this, that you want to go to view and float on top. Float on top. This will be like, if I click PowerPoint, this won't go away. So let me show you the example. If I was on QuickTime and I did not have float on top clicked, if I click on that, it will go behind it. So you always want that in front. So just click it, go to view, float on top. Now wherever I click in the screen, it won't go away. So just nest this where you feel it's appropriate, however you want to set up your screen. But the Logitech, as you can see, is up here. And now your students can see your presentation and also the classroom. So you have that opportunity. So this is just the setup, okay? Now typically what happens is if you're in PowerPoint or if you're in Keynote and you press the slideshow, it takes over the entire screen and your second vantage point may go away. So what you'll want to do is you'll need to go to Set Up Slideshow, Browse by Individual Window. Okay, you press that and press OK, and when you go to your slideshow, then it will stay in one section. You can manipulate this entire one to stay in one area and get the full screen presentation without losing it. All right, so as you're clicking through, it's in full screen, the kids can see everything, and then you still have your camera to the side. So that was PowerPoint. I'm going to also show you how to do that in Keynote and also with Google Slides, depending on what your preference is. So if I go to Keynote here and I were to just press play with my presentation, my camera has gone away. So how you get around that is you're going to go to the play bar, the menu, and press play slideshow in window. You can move the screen wherever you need it to be and be able to present without losing your classroom view. So the next one is Google Slides, and I'll show you how to demonstrate that as well. So you have your Google Slides here. And once again, if you were to present, it would take up the full screen, taking away your camera. You don't want that, so you would escape. And what you'll do here is press this down arrow and press Presenter View. What this will do is it'll bring this up. Just to monitor, you can actually close this. It's no big deal. Or you can move it over into your first screen. Now you have your presentation in one place. You have all of the size that you need for the students can see it. And then you have your classroom here to the side that's not being affected. So you can once again, go through your slides. Everybody can see one another, so on and so forth. Now that I've said all that, we come to the part where we have the Zoom integration. We're using Zoom again. So you would open up your Zoom, start your meeting, however we plan to start our meetings. And when the students, a lot of times if it doesn't pop up here, look on your computer and just slide it over. Okay, and so you have your Zoom meeting here. So I'm going to show you what it's going to look like on an iPad. So I'm going to press participants, invite, and I'll join from an iPad to show you what the students will see. All right, so when it comes to setting up Zoom, once you get into your Zoom call, I'm going to show you all what you'll want to show your kids. I have an iPad over here to demonstrate what a student's view would be as well. So when you come to Zoom and you let all your students in, the reason why we have this separate setup on the extended screen for your PowerPoint and your classroom view, or your view if you like to switch that, is because when we go to share screen, we have these options here. Now what you'll want to do is share desktop too. I know typically you share maybe a window or something like that. You can also share like your iPad if you were to plug it in, or a whiteboard. But if you share desktop too, the entire desktop too, what will happen is the students can see your entire screen. Okay, so this is what the students can view. When they log in, they'll see the PowerPoint and they'll see the class view, or you can change it to be you if you like. If you wanted to change the camera on your Zoom, I would just press the up arrow by the video and change it to the Logitech for Zoom. So you can switch. So the kids on Zoom can see, if I wasn't presenting, they can see the classroom. So you have those options. So we have two different cameras from this setup. You can also join via the iPad. So you have your own school iPad, you can join via your iPad, and this gives you the opportunity to go and maybe highlight different students and things of that nature, so you have another viewpoint. All in all, I know that was a lot, but we have a lot of options to be able to better service our students, and I'm happy to demonstrate different ways that you can be creative in delivering your content in person and online. So the ways that we have is you can just use the Clever Touch. Just put the Clever Touch on Zoom and use a Logitech and use your iPad. You can use that setup, or you can put your computer in an HDMI and use it as an external monitor to have your presentations or your Word document in one area, and choose which camera that you want to use to always do it, so that when you share your screen or your display with the students, they always have the material and the classroom, like a personal interaction, in view without it being distracted or distorted. If you have any questions for me, if there's any clarification that you need, I'd be happy to help out. I hope that I've made this clear for you, and see you on campus. Just another quick reference: if you want to be extra and use all the cameras on your computer available to you, what you can do is go to your Launchpad and open up your photo booth, which is another camera app, and you can set your photo booth to be the Logitech or your FaceTime camera, and so you'll always have both camera angles up. So if I use photo booth, I go to camera, I have two camera options once you've plugged in the Logitech. So let's say I have the Logitech on my photo booth, and then I'm going to change my movie recording to FaceTime, so that no matter where I am, the kids can see me, they can see both. So like I said before, the only thing with this is that, you know, it'll just go behind it, so that's no big deal. So I would probably use photo booth here, and it can kind of like go away, no problem, and then me here. But you have the option to change however you want it to be. But like I said, we have our presentations or our materials on camera at all times. If you were to share your screen, you have yourself on camera at all time, and you have the full view of what is my equipment at the moment, but what will be your students. So it doesn't matter where you end up, you have the opportunity to, the kids can see you, and if you need to get up close to address them directly, or if you want to back up. But like I said, we have the presentation on one end, and we have the camera views on the other end, and whatever resources that you're using. You can arrange your additional, your external monitor however you want. Maybe you can add a timer at the bottom, whatever you choose to do, so your students in class can interact with this, and then you can do that. And you can also, once again, like if you have all of your students and you want your students in class to be able to see your students at home, you can slide your Zoom over and do it that way. So like, the world is your oyster. Do whatever you have to do to make it work. And thank you again.